To begin, use maybe a light blue or dark blue piece of paper and use a white pencil to draw a circle. This is the head of the snowman. Right below it, you're going to draw a larger circle, and it looks a little bit more like a C, so we have overlapping. Then draw the bottom of the snowman. You'll notice this is much larger. When you're ready to begin adding your highlights and your tints, I'd like you to start on one side of the snowman and begin shading it in. On that side, you are going to be pressing a little bit hard. Then as you bring over the color to the other side, start pressing lighter and lighter. You want to see this gradient begin to fade. Good. Now if that was a little confusing, let's watch it again. On one side I'm pressing pretty hard to make it as white as I can get. And as I start to begin moving towards the center, I begin pressing softer and softer to the very end, to where it's almost as if a butterfly was just barely pressing its pencil on the blue paper. You'll do this for each of the circles of the snowman. And you might notice that as I shade, it's a little bit more of the shape of a C to really emphasize the form of that circle. It's more of a sphere. Good. Now using a darker color, I'm going to use a blue. I'm going to be adding the shadows on the other side, the right side of the snowman. Now when you do this, you don't want to bring it too far over. First, I just trace the outside and I lightly bring this inwards, only reaching about a quarter of the circle. Again, you don't want to see a bold line where the shadow ends. You just want it to fade. This is our shadow, or the spot of the snowman where the sunlight is not reaching. Now I will use some color pencils, and this is completely optional. You can choose the design of your snowman just to add eyes, a nose, and maybe a few buttons. Don't forget that your snowman might want to have some hands, and you can do this any way that you choose. I'm going to choose to draw a couple little branches poking out the sides of the snowman for his little stick arms. To avoid having our snowman floating in space, I'm going to draw the horizon line, or just a little hill, using a white pencil. I also use a blue color pencil. I'm going to draw a little oval on the right side as the cast shadow of the snowman. When I shade this in, I'm going to press a little bit harder where it is right at the bottom of the snowman, and as I move over to the side, I begin to press a little bit lighter as the shadow begins to fade. Let's add some color to our snowy hill, and I suggest doing this the same way that you colored in your snowman. To show the light hitting the top of the hill, I press pretty hard in the beginning, and as I bring the color downwards to the bottom of the paper, I begin to let it fade. Again, this is called a gradient, when you see a transition of values as it goes from light to dark. The drawing is almost complete, but take some time and have some fun adding different details. Maybe you want icicles on the arms of the snowman. Maybe you want to add a beanie or some type of top hat. It is completely up to you. And yes, the snowman can be holding something. It is your choice in this option. And think of something that maybe you want to add in the background. In this case, I'm just going to draw a couple snowflakes and maybe some little dots to make snowfall. If you want to add trees or a moon, remember this is completely your option. Today we got to practice gradients, tinting, and shading. I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to see your snowman. Take care.